everyone. Welcome to Musical Mornings with Rock Island Sound from the Westchester Children's Museum. My name's Andrew, and I'm playing violin, and today we're going to talk about Antonio Vivaldi. And you can join me every Monday morning through July to learn all about the violin, not just Vivaldi. So today we're going to talk about Antonio Vivaldi, a little bit about him, why he's important both to the violin and overall his compositions. And we're going to hear a lot of his compositions today, including some that do some tone painting. So we're going to talk about what is tone painting. So first, I just want to see anyone who's here, if you can say in the comments how old you are, and so we can learn a little bit about everybody here. All right, so first I'm going to play you a little excerpt from Vivaldi's Concerto in A minor, Opus 3, number 6. Now, just when we say opus, that means it's the order of when a composer composes things. So Opus 3 was the third set that he published, and then number 6 means that there's 6 of these concertos at least. There's actually 12, so this is the 6th one of this. So I'm going to play just a little excerpt for you so you can get a little taste of what Vivaldi sounds like. So that was from his Concerto Opus 3, number 6, the first movement. So who was Antonio Vivaldi? Well, he was born in 1678 to 1741. So if we remember what we talked about last time with Johann Sebastian Bach, he was born in 1685. So he was born Bach was born a few years after Vivaldi, but it's still around the same time period. So here's a picture of Vivaldi. And one of his nickname was the Red Priest because he had red hair, and he was actually a priest in the Catholic Church. So he taught also at an all-girls Catholic school in Italy. He lived in Venice, Italy, which is in the northeastern part of Italy. And a lot of his compositions were written for the girls who played violin at the school. So I think that's really interesting. Back then, the all-girls school, and you had all these girl violinists. And that's something that back then was not common at all. It was usually boys and men that played the violin, but it was really cool to have an all-girls school and they all played the violin. And these compositions, that composition was most likely composed at that school for girls. So I think that's a neat little tidbit there. He was also a virtuoso violinist. He performed a lot in Italy. And he composed he composed mostly concertos. Remember we talked about concertos the last few weeks, where it's a piece for solo instrument with an orchestra. He also composed some pieces for chorus, for singing, and some operas, which are like a story that you tell with singing. Okay, so now, Vivaldi's most famous work is called The Four Seasons. And in The Four Seasons, he actually wrote a poem that goes along with each season. And he uses the violin and uses the music to have images in your head of what he's doing, what he's talking about. And so he puts the words to that to kind of give his intentions. So now I'm going to play some excerpts from the Four Seasons, but I want to ask everybody, what is their favorite season in the year? So remember, we have 4 seasons, so what's your favorite season? Now, when Vivaldi was writing, he did 4 different concertos for the 4 seasons, so for each one. So, does anybody know what season we're in now? Right now. What season are we in now? So, while I'm waiting to see if there's any answers to our question, I'm going to read some of the poem from the spring season. And so, he writes, "Springtime is upon us. The birds celebrate her return with festive song, and murmuring streams are softly caressed by the breezes." Well, somebody's favorite season is fall. All right, so that's a great season where the leaves change colors, the weather gets a little bit cooler, and getting ready for some people are going back to school, and that's a great season, fall. I love the leaves. I love the colors of the leaves when they turn all those yellows and reds and oranges. It's really cool. So I'm going to start with spring. So I just read that excerpt. I'll read it one more time just in case we didn't get that. So springtime is upon us. The birds celebrate her return with festive song, and murmuring streams are softly caressed by the breezes. So I'm going to play the part of spring of the four seasons that part goes to. So get music ready. All right. So here we go. This is from the first movement of spring. So, Vivaldi talked about the birds singing. Did you hear the birds in that part? Was there a part that sounded like birds singing? So I'm going to play this part again. So the bird singing, he uses something called a trill, which is where we alternate between two fingers very rapidly. And it kind of sounds like a bird call. And then that's kind of like a bird song. And then where he talks about the streams murmuring like a babbling brook. That's one of my favorite sounds, a babbling brook when I'm walking, taking a nature hike. Of course, being socially distant. Sounds like the water going up and down. So that's one part. So now let's jump to fall, because I heard that was somebody's favorite season. Martine's favorite season was fall. So fall, we think about. Let's read I'm going to read the excerpt of what Vivaldi wrote for fall in one movement. Okay. So celebrates the peasant with songs and dances, the pleasure of a bountiful harvest. So fall is also a time where farmers harvest what they've grown. So like corn or wheat or other thing. Whatever vegetables might a farmer harvest in fall? What's something that we eat a lot in fall? I know lots of people have this big orange one. So everybody can guess in the comments. So I'm going to play a little bit of autumn. So this is where the farmers are celebrating the bountiful harvest, the great harvest that they had. So you can hear how it's dancing. So the farmers are dancing and celebrating their harvest. So Vivaldi uses dances when to help celebrate. Now there's another section in this autumn where they talk about the hunt. And the hunt where they go on, they hunt foxes and other things. So, and usually when we think about the hunt, we think about hunting horns. So Vivaldi uses the violin to make it sound kind of like a little trumpet. So that little trumpet call. All right. So we've done spring and we've done fall. What other seasons are there? So we've done spring and fall. So what other seasons might we have? What season is after fall? Anybody can take a guess. What season is after fall? It's really cold in this one. Really cold. All right. Okay, well, we have winter coming up. Now, winter, we think about cold and ice and snow. So I'm going to read the excerpt from the poem that Vivaldi wrote. And this one's about, we tread the icy path slowly and cautiously for fear of tripping and falling. Oh, goodness. Have you ever fallen on ice before? It hurts a lot. Don't want to do that. So let's hear how Vivaldi portrays walking on the ice. I enjoy winter. Very good. So hear how he uses all those moving notes to be like kind of like sliding on ice, and it doesn't sound where the beat is. You don't really know where the beat is. One, and that high note really kind of throws it off, so it's like tiptoeing on ice and not really knowing where you are. So now I'm going to play it with some accents to show you where the beat is. So now it sounds different with those accents, but if you just play it smooth, it really sounds like it's really uneven. Wow. So Vivaldi uses a lot of these tone painting in his music. All right. Now, we have one more season left. Oh my goodness, what season have we done? We did spring, we did fall, we did winter. What season's left? Let's think about it. What season haven't we done yet? I think we haven't done the season that we're in right now. Summer. Ooh, summer. What do we think about in summer? We think about really hot weather, thinking about sitting under a shady tree when it gets really hot. And so Vivaldi, in his first movement, he writes, let's read the poem and see if we can find it. Under a hard season, fired up the sun. Languishes man, languishes the flock, and burns the pine. So it's really hot. So he does it like this. So he makes the music really slow, because when it's really hot, do you really want to move around a lot? Do you move fast when it's really hot? I know when it's really hot, sometimes I get really just want to sit down. And then he talks about hearing, again, bird songs. Bird songs are really important in music, and you can portray a lot of bird songs. We hear the cuckoo's voice. So let's see if you can hear the cuckoo in this part. Did you hear the cuckoo? So that appears and has in the music too. And now the last part of summer that we're going to talk about, I don't know if anybody heard yesterday, but we had some thunderstorms in our area. I hope everyone was safe during those storms. And Vivaldi, in his last movement, writes. So in the second movement, he says, the fear of lightning and fierce thunder robs his tired limbs of rest. And then, alas, his fears were justified. The heavens thunder and roar with hail, cut the head off the wheat and damages the grain. Oh no, that harvest we talked about in fall, I hope it doesn't get too hurt by those thunderstorms. I hope they can grow back. So here is the last movement of Vivaldi's Summer. So I'm going to play a little bit of it for you to end our musical mornings. So here we are. Get ready for the thunderstorm. Wow, did you hear the thunder and lightning in that part? I know I did. So that's a little bit of how Vivaldi's Four Seasons and how he used, when he wrote his poems, the words he put in his music, and he get different things, and the ferocious thunderstorms, the birds singing, the ice in winter, the harvest in the fall. He portrayed all of those in music, and a lot of composers later on would take those ideas, and they might not have written words like Vivaldi did to accompany their pieces, but they still used the music to kind of paint what they wanted to do. All right, everybody. So I hope you enjoyed today's class today, and join me next Monday at 9:30. And next time we're going to talk about Mozart and how he's important to the violin and some of the compositions he wrote. And tomorrow, Rachel will talk some more about singing at 9:30, so be sure to tune in for her presentation. And then also, I teach violin and viola lessons, and I run a fiddle camp for Rock Island Sound. So you can go on their website, or you can call 914-967-0080 and ask about violin or viola lessons with Andrew. So everyone, I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. It looks to be a nice sunny day out, so if you can get outside safely, I would recommend doing that. And I will see you next week for our Musical Mondays. Have a great day, everyone. Bye-bye.